one of the guys, if not the guy, that put the Chiefs on the map.
Completely.
He was a guy that was around in the AFL, NFL days and the merger. Just a tremendous player. Some of his stats, he played, quite a long time ago. So some of that maybe fades, especially with younger people. I mean, obviously he played long before I ever watched Chiefs football, but you go through and look at some of his stats and his accolades. 7 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pro first teams. He led the league in touchdown passes 4 times. He set the Chiefs record for touchdown passes in a season in 1964 with 30, which if you think about 30 touchdown passes in 1964, stood as a Chiefs record until Patrick Mahomes threw 50 in 2018. 3-time AFL champ, 1-time Super Bowl champ, and Super Bowl IV MVP. It's hard to do much more than that in the game of football. So he had been in kind of poor health here for a number of years. He also was one of 3 people that's in the NFL Hall of Fame as a player and as a broadcaster. I believe Dan Dierdorf and who's the other guy, Nick? Dan Dierdorf and now his name's going to escape me.
I know Madden's in as a coach and but I don't know of another player.
Well, it doesn't matter. They were Chiefs anyway.
Yeah.
So. But it was just the guy had an insane broadcasting career. Really helped launch, not just put the Chiefs on the map, but put the NFL on the map. He was, an integral and instrumental part at the beginning of the HBO show Inside the NFL. He was a local broadcaster here, Ohio born, but became a Chiefs legend. And you just have to think if he would have played for a team, a big market team like New York or LA or Dallas or somebody like that, he'd probably be more well known and probably be more nationally recognized for just everything he did for the game of football and it is a bigger picture. But pretty bummed out. I saw that this morning. Just a bad way to start the day. But it's just sad. But that's no one gets out alive, right? So, R.I.P. to Lynn. Any memories you guys have? I'll share one here in a minute after you guys go. And Nick, anything stands out?
Yeah, so for a number of years, I worked on the weekends, and there were a great many Chiefs games that I did not get to watch live, and because of my job. But I did work selling audio equipment, and so I would turn all of the radios to 101 The Fox on Sundays, and back then it was Len Dawson and Mitch Holthus that would announce the game. Mitch Holthus obviously still legend. He's still going. Len Dawson quit doing it a few years ago due to health. But I just remember, obviously I wasn't alive when he was a player, but I just remember, listening to him and Mitch Holthus. That was like during the Trent Green era. It was good times. Len Dawson provided kind of a more realistic look at the Chiefs. He was obviously a great ambassador for the Chiefs, but he was a realist on the radio broadcast, which was appreciated. And then also just the memory of being proud that he was a player for our team, that he got us to the first Super Bowl, that we weren't the first AFL team to win a Super Bowl, but we won Super Bowl IV, right, and so he was in 2 of the first 4 Super Bowls ever. There's that iconic picture of him smoking a cigarette.
Cigar, yeah.
At halftime during Super Bowl I. They called it the Fools League, right? When they started it, and he was one of the forces in showing that the AFL teams, which later became the AFC, were worth competing against to the NFL at the time, right? And think of it like that would be like somebody today coming from the XFL or what's this other league that's out there, and them like coming in and playing Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl and like giving him a run for his money or winning against like Aaron Rodgers or something of the time. So just pretty amazing. for him to come up and do that. And, you know, an iconic person in Kansas City. He's a lifelong Kansas City. And even though I see John B in the comments there, he is from Ohio, but, you know, he was, as I was listening to Keatsman's podcast today, and he brought that up, that, you know, he's a lifelong Kansas City guy. Scott, I know you've seen him out and about before. I know that my dad has seen him out and about. His nickname, Lenny the Cool. He just was like a cool dude. You know, I've never heard negative things about him from anybody. He's one of those people that everybody that I know that's interacted with him has a cool story to tell. So rest in peace, Len.
Yeah. There are a couple of moments that stand out for sure, right? Nick mentioned it, the iconic moment of him smoking the cigar at halftime. I think that's like, that went around today on social media everywhere, right? You just saw that photo everywhere. Obviously, you know, him winning the Super Bowl. I mean, you guys kind of mentioned all the great highlights, but I mean, one thing you guys forgot to mention, he played for 19 years. And even back then, man, when those guys are getting lit up with one bar across their face mask, and, you know, before roughing the passer was even a thing, those guys were getting lit up. Yeah. That guy was in the league for 19 years, and he lived to 87 too, man. So, I mean, that's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. I had the good fortune to meet Mr. Dawson. I believe it was Ameristar Casino a number of years ago. And I just happened to see him sitting there, and I just walked up, and I was just going to introduce myself to him and just say, "Hey, it's great to meet you, man. You're Chiefs legend. I love it." And he was like, "Have a seat," and I sat down next to him there, you know, and had a beer with him. And
dude, that's awesome.
He kind of asked me about, you know, being a Chiefs fan, and it wasn't about him. He wasn't arrogant. He didn't act annoyed. He might have been annoyed. Hell, I might have been annoying him. But he was just super cool.
You never told me this story before. This is amazing.
Yeah, and he just kind of told me just about, you know, back in the old days and how much football had changed. And so I got to sit there and, you know, for 5-10 minutes and just shoot the breeze with him. Couldn't have been classier. Couldn't have been nicer about it. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool guy. Sometimes people just exude that good vibe.
Yeah.
Right. And I definitely experienced that when I got to talk to him. And so, yeah, R.I.P. Len. Glad, you know, Patrick Mahomes. You're talking about that picture of him. I think Patrick Mahomes has got a shirt that I saw him wearing before a game one time where it's a picture of Len Dawson, the smoking the cigarette and drinking a Fresca, I think, there in the locker room at halftime of the Super Bowl. But
well, he got all kinds of publicity with that photo last year because Joe Burrow was trying to like do the same thing. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure Joe Burrow came out like a similar picture, trying to replicate that situation and everything. But yeah.
Mahomes, did you guys see Mahomes' tweet about it today? They had somebody did a really good Photoshop, and it's Mahomes like with his arm. Looks like his arms around Len Dawson, and the photo goes left to right. It goes from like new HD look to like an old vintage photo look. I mean, it's pretty cool. Him and Travis Kelce have both put photos like that out there. You know, they're just Chiefs greats of the common era, but they respect the lineage of our team and the history of our team, and you know the past as well. So it's great to see that. Obviously, Patrick got to meet Len Dawson. They did when Mahomes was having his breakout year. I think they had it was one of the first I saw Len Dawson do actually, where they were introducing him. And you know, I kind of remember joking at the time that they were probably telling Patrick, "Hey, we're going to introduce you to the guy that won the Super Bowl for the Chiefs before you." And he saw him and was like, "Oh my God, that guy!" Because you know, it's been 50 years. So it's crazy. So
long drought. So
yeah, but Len got to live through and see Patrick win another one for us, which is great. So